These days, we see a lot of couples coming to our therapist in the midst of a crisis, usually after an infidelity or cheating or betrayal has been discovered. But working through an affair is, as you probably expect, really difficult, and it does take a lot of work, but I've seen hundreds of couples successfully navigate and work through it. It takes a lot of vulnerability and effort and willingness to learn how all of this happened and how to make sure that it never happens again. So there's a specific way that Gottman therapists like myself and my team have to work with affairs. People can recover from affairs. At the Gottman Institute, they've studied couples for decades, and their research-based approach to rebuilding trust after an affair or betrayal is called the trust revival method, and it has 3 defined stages of treatment. Number 1 is atonement, number 2 is called attunement, and number 3 is attachment. The effectiveness of this model is currently being studied in randomized clinical trials, and it's the first research of its kind. All of our couples therapists at Couples Counseling ATL have intensive training in this model and loads of experience helping couples recover from affairs. I want to tell you a little bit about this model, though, for treating affairs. The first recommendation I'd make, if you're interested, is to read a book called Not Just Friends by the late Dr. Shirley Glass. And even though she's an amazing therapist, or was, and a researcher, I promise that the book isn't dry. It's very interesting. It's not super, too academic. It's an easy read, and it's really, really helpful if you've been through this. So what she did was that for a long time, she treated only couples who came to her seeking help after an affair. And she found out that the person who has been cheated on often, almost always suffers from symptoms of PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder, usually severe PTSD. They have heightened hypervigilance, often going back and forth from emotional numbness, feeling nothing, to emotional explosions where they feel overwhelmed and intensity, flashbacks. Think of, pictures in your mind of your partner and their affair and what you might imagine their partner doing with their affair partner. And despite not wanting to think about this, it's just something they can't stop. Usually it's obsessive, and it usually is torturous. It intrudes in their mind when they're awake, and it also interferes with life at work, and even when they're sleeping. Sometimes it comes in the form of nightmares. They have trouble sleeping, depression, and often many more symptoms. They also become very hypervigilant, constantly looking for signs that their partner might be cheating on them again with maybe the same affair partner or with a new affair partner. They might feel obsessed with checking their partner's phone, social media, emails, or any other sign of continued betrayal. So with Gottman's couples therapy, we often help couples to first by examining, and explaining that all of this is, an understandable, normal, healthy brain response to something traumatic. These symptoms of PTSD are totally appropriate, and for such a betrayal. So even though you may feel crazy going through this, it's an understandable response to something that's kind of crazy making. So it's important that couples know that this is why this happens, and if you treat it properly, it's not going to stick around forever. Trauma can be treated. That's something really important to know. So first, the person who's been betrayed, we start that atonement phase of treatment. They need to be able to express his or her feelings about the affair without using the 4 horsemen. And if you've listened to any of my previous videos, you'll probably remember that those are the most toxic ways to communicate, very unhealthy, hurt the relationship. That includes criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. And clearly this is going to be hard for most people, when you feel like your heart's been ripped out of your chest, most people want to punish their partner and tear them a new one, understandably. But the therapist has to help them, the person who's been betrayed, to express their anger, their rage, their hurt, their disappointment, their grief, all those other feelings in a more vulnerable and honest way that doesn't do more damage. There's already enough damage. We don't want to pile on more. And so that the person who had the affair can actually hear the pain and the hurt and the anger, and understand the gravity of the impact of what they've done, and step into the shoes of their partner who they've betrayed. The four horsemen just get in the way of them being able to hear. So starting with statements like this would be helpful. I feel devastated. I feel destroyed. I feel so upset I can barely get through the day. I feel furious. I feel terrified that you'll do this again. These are all part of honest sharing of feelings without criticism, and an important first step. You can't just say, you piece of blank, you're scum, you deserve to go to hell, and I wish you would rot there, because it's clearly critical, contemptuous, and despite the fact that it might feel good to unload, it's not going to help with understanding, healing, and it makes it much more likely or less likely that your partner will hear you and want to work on it, and it will make it less likely that your relationship would survive the affair. So as your Gottman therapist, we would help you to speak all your feelings and help your partner to actually hang in there and hear those feelings without getting really defensive. Also, the person who's been betrayed needs to ask questions about the affair to the person who had the affair, and have those questions all answered as honestly and openly with transparency as much as possible. It's the only way to rebuild a new marriage or relationship. You'll be creating in the aftermath of the affair. This is important to know too. The old relationship, you've got to think of it as being over. The affair has destroyed any semblance of trust, and if this couple stays together, they'll be co-creating a new relationship from the ground up. So with the old relationship shattered and the person who's betrayed being left triggered all the time with this PTSD, especially if they have past family of origin trust issues, or having been betrayed in past relationships and being hurt in past relationship, that's all going to resurface and need to be dealt with as well. So the partner gets to ask any question they want to ask about the affair, but our therapist will caution you not to ask questions specifically about the type of sex they had, because that will likely worsen the PTSD symptoms and flashbacks. Once you've learned something graphic, especially sexual details, usually your mind will kind of tattoo that into your memory, and you'll be tortured with it, so it's best to kind of, maybe hesitate before asking that kind of stuff. But all the other questions that really are critical and important to know are helpful for the healing. Some of those sorts of questions would be, when did you meet the affair partner? Where did you meet up? How did you meet? How did you give yourself permission to do this? Did you feel guilty? What about previous opportunities? Have you had any? Did you think of any? Why did it last if you knew it was wrong? Do you think about me at all? Or did you think about me? What did you say about us to that person? Did you talk about a future together with this person? What did you see in the affair partner? How were you different in the affair? Did you have unprotected sex? There's many, many more questions, many of them listed out in Not Just Friends if you need help with that. But going through all those questions may take a very, very long time. That's just a small sample. I had one couple that spent over 8 months just on questions. They came in every other week with a whole journal of questions, and the person who had the affair, of course, felt like they were on the hot seat, but they were really committed to repairing the damage that they'd done, and it paid off in the end. They restored the relationship. They showed their partner that they wouldn't leave any stone unturned if it meant rebuilding their trust in their relationship. So the person who betrayed needs to be able to express how sorry they are in a genuine way, over and over, with regret and remorse for the damage that they've caused. But in this initial atonement phase, we're not analyzing the marriage yet, and we have to fully finish this stage before we begin looking at the marriage and analyzing it and going back into maybe what was already problematic or unhealthy before the affair began. So it's questions, answers, lots of atonement after regret, after atonement, after regret. And, it's critically important to know that one, I'm sorry, is not going to do it, despite how many couples I've seen who first come in thinking that that's adequate, or had a past couples therapist who was horrible or something, who said, oh, just forgive and forget. You don't need to talk about this, put it under the rug. That is not going to repair anything. You'll just kind of keep limping along until everything explodes again. So, you can't just pretend like this isn't a big deal. Those relationships and marriages don't work when someone has the attitude like that. It's just a defensive response and an unwillingness to do the hard work that's necessary if they're saying things like, God, I said I'm sorry, get over it. That's again more of a relationship that you may want to get out of if someone's not willing to atone and repent for the damage. So after the atonement phase has been fully fleshed out and completed, then we move to the next phase, which is called the attunement phase. And that's all about how to listen to one another, finding out what's gone wrong in the relationship with one another, usually conflict management, not usually, probably almost 100% of the time, couples that have affairs don't do conflict management well, if at all. They usually do it terribly and are most often habitual avoiders or conflict avoiders of conflict. They don't talk about their resentments and frustrations at all, and neither person really talks about their needs and preferences in the relationship. They don't ask much of each other. They're often scared of bringing up their needs or their hurts, and they expect to be let down. So our therapists help them to learn how to begin doing this and how to really, begin to attune to the other person as a good, caring listener. It's critical that they learn how to identify their partner's needs and become more responsive to those needs, basically learning how to become a better partner, where trust is built, and when ruptures happen and we hurt each other, that we know how to repair and take ownership of that. So the second phase of attunement may be just as long of a process as atonement, the first one. Attachment is the last phase, and this is the phase of couples therapy after an affair when we're building what's called rituals of connection, building, again, a good relationship from the ground up. Those are those small everyday ways that couples connect with each other, kind of, the lifeblood of connection. We're also starting to deal with sex, including what sex they both might like to have, although the betrayed partner might not be open to that yet, or to sex yet. It's often the last part of the relationship to be repaired, because the betrayed person might understandably feel the most vulnerable, in their sexuality, and it takes a lot of trust and better foundation in the relationship to feel safe enough to be willing to move forward there. But the one exception to this is if the betrayed person is feeling unsafe with the partner and not feeling like there's genuine remorse or genuine commitment from their partner. And so they may be just kind of scared to lose them and are offering sex as a way to keep them. but this is unfortunate and doesn't work. It just kind of gives them a false sense of temporary security in the relationship. And if the betrayer hasn't fully atoned or learned how to create a healthy relationship with both feet fully in, invested, closing the doors on any other potential partners, then this just won't work. And their sense of security from having sex with their partner is unfortunately just a false sense of security. So as Gottman therapists, we try to help couples to avoid this common trap. Finally, the attachment phase also has to include talking about what's going to happen if another boundary violation occurs, like an affair, or even a boundary crossing, like flirtation, or texting somebody else that they have said they wouldn't text. So they have to talk about those consequences for any future transgression. It needs to be spelled out, crystal clear. Usually the betrayed person says that they will leave if it happens again. That's the most common consequence that's talked about. And once you know all that is required, all this that's required to fully recover and rebuild a relationship after an affair, and not just put it under the rug and pretend like sorry is enough. If you really do the work, invest the time, and you also kind of have better education about what's required to build and maintain a healthy relationship and keep it thriving, and how to avoid all those typical traps that lead to betrayals. Most people who know better do better, and they don't have affairs again. So for the people who have actually gone through this whole process, usually they are able to avoid betraying their partner again. So I hope this has been helpful. If you need some help with this in your own relationship, we have amazing, talented therapists who are all trained in this, and we would love to help you. Thanks.